Hi, it's Hope and welcome to the video. This is going to be my March TBR. Now let's do just a quick little wrap up of how February went. It is currently the 25th and I haven't started two of the books on my TBR. Those two books are The Heir by Frost K and Cinderella is Dead by Caryn Lix. I will have The Heir by Frost K started and finished, hopefully, if not for sure started. And according to my rules, if I have one book that is like unread, I can carry it on into March. So I'm carrying Cinderella is Dead by Caryn Lix into March. And then I will have The Heir finished by the 28th, if not for sure like March 1st. So in saying that, there will only be 8 picks, and I already know what the picks are. I filmed like the picking the Jenga pieces like 4 days ago, and I've now just had time to film this now because I've been filming a ton of shit for my A Court of Silver Flames reading blog and review. I'm literally wearing the same outfit that I wore in my A Court of Silver Flames review. But let's get started. So here's the Jenga tower. I hope I'm in frame. I can't tell. But I'm going to pick the 8 pieces like I mentioned before. And we'll just see. I have no idea what order these are. The only ones I know what they are the top like 3 rows, since those were last month's prompts and I'm not allowed to pick them. But other than that, I have no idea. I've honestly even forgot half the prompts I've written. So, like, let's see. Let's go with this one. A 5-star prediction. So, I have a video on my channel that is labeled 5-star predictions, and I have to pick a book off of that list. 5-star prediction. This one was kind of hard to pick because I wasn't sure what to pick at first. Like 5-star prediction, I have like an entire video dedicated to that. And the one that I picked was Winter by Audrey Gray. And Winter is, essentially in Winter we have a human that ends up, for reasons I don't know, ending up attending a university or like a school for like is it the Seelie and the Unseelie? And that's like all I know. It's, I think, like Enemies to Lovers, like it's like upper YA, borderline new adult. That's all I know, and it's on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm going to be reading it there. Pick number 2. Okay, that one came out really easy. Ooh, this is a new one. So it is Facebook group pick. I'm just going to put this down here. I am in a Facebook group called, what is it called? Like YA Fantasy Readers. I can't remember exactly what it's called. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go onto the Facebook page. I'm going to screen record it on, like, my iPad, which is behind you. And going to go ahead and just scroll through, and the first book that I see, like, somebody recommending or somebody wanting, like, anything, like the first book, I have to read it, even if it's not on my TBR, as long as it sounds like something I'd like, which it's a YA fantasy group. Of course I'm going to enjoy them, like, pretty much any book. And if it's a, like, for example, like a book haul, because a lot of people post book haul photos, I will pick whatever, like, book from that book haul that interests me the most. Yeah, this is a new one that, plot twist, I just knocked that entire thing over. Oh my gosh. But that's what that is. I'm actually curious to see what this would be, and if it would even be a book on my TBR. So for Facebook group pick, I filmed a video of me scrolling through like a Facebook group called YA Fantasy Addicts that I'm a part of on Facebook, and I went, like, the first thing, like, they'll be, like, and here's the video of what book came out of that. So, my screen recording isn't working, like, I don't know why, so we're just going to, like, film this. So the first thing is a poll with a bunch of different books. So I guess the poll says, like we were doing a thing where we're nominating like books from A to Z to figure out like the most popular books on that. So in theory, the top one is Aurora Rising by Amy Kauffman and J. Kristoff. So I guess I'll go with that. So that is what I'm gonna pick. I could, in theory, based on my rules, pick any book off of this, but just based on the list, that's honestly the one that is the most interesting. So the book pick is Aurora Rising by Amy Kauffman and J. Kristoff. And Aurora Rising secretly kind of scares me because I did not like Illuminae by Amy Kauffman and J. Kristoff. I think it was the format. I will be trying to reread Illuminae again sometime later this year. Maybe probably on like audiobook, or like audio reading along, I don't know. But Aurora Rising is is the first book in a sci-fi trilogy? I think it's a trilogy. I'm going to read the description because I do not know much about this. I have heard great things from Becca and the books. And like I trust her opinion, but so I'm gonna read the thing. The year is 2380 and the graduating cadets of Aurora Academy are being assigned their first mission. Star pupil Tyler Jones is ready to recruit the squad of his dreams, but his own bonehead heroism sees him stuck with the dregs nobody else in the academy would touch. A cocky diplomat with a black belt in sarcasm, a sociopath scientist with a fondness for shooting her bunkmates, a smart-ass tech whiz with the galaxy's biggest chip on his shoulder, an alien warrior with anger management issues, a tomboy pilot who's totally not into him in case you were wondering. And Ty's squad isn't even his biggest problem. That would be Aurora J. Lynn O'Malley, the girl he rescued from interdimensional space, trapped in cryosleep for 2 centuries. Audrey is a girl out of time and out of her death, but she could be the catalyst that starts a war millions of years in the making, and Tyler's squad of losers, disciplined cases, and misfits must just be the last hope for the entire galaxy. I usually don't like sci-fi, and I'm realizing that there are multiple sci-fis on my list this month. Is March the month of sci-fis? I really hope I like this. I've heard like it's an entirely different feel, entirely different style than Illuminae. I've heard that a lot of people who disliked Illuminae have loved Aurora Rising, and I really hope that I'm one of those people because, like, yeah, I believe the 3rd book in this series might be coming out later this year or beginning of next year. There's also the 2nd book, Aurora Burning, which if I like Aurora Rising, I'll hopefully be reading Aurora Burning soon as well. Pick number 3, and is the tower leaning? I think the tower's leaning. Oh well, one isn't it. I feel like I want one from like, oh, that one, oh, fluff. A red cover, so a book that has red on the cover. For red cover, I kind of stretched this for red cover, but might help if I grab the right book. For this, I'm going to be reading Reboot by Amy Tintera. And see, it has red on the cover, but it's a mainly black cover, but I'm counting it because like it had the only other colors on the thing are red and white. So this I know not much about. I have a physical copy. I got this. This has been sitting on my shelf for like over a year, and I'm gonna read the back. 5 years ago, Ren Connolly died. After 178 minutes, she came back as a reboot. Stronger, faster, able to heal, but also less emotional. The longer reboots are under, the less humanity they are when they the less human they are when they return. Making Ren 170, the deadliest reboot in the Republic of Texas. Now 17 years old, her favorite part of her job is training new reboots, but her latest newbie is the worst she's ever seen. As a 22, Callum Reyes is practically still human. His reflexes are too slow, he's always asking pesky questions, and his ever-present smile is freaking Ren out. And yet, he's still her newbie. When Callum falls short of reboot standards, Ren is told to eliminate him. But the perfect soldier is done taking orders. And this is like a sci-fi dystopian like duology. And when I first heard about this, like the idea of this, I loved it. Again, I'm not really for like sci-fi / dystopians, but this I feel like I would like. The tagline literally says, 5 years ago I died. 178 minutes later I woke up. I think I heard that and I was like, you fucking what? So like this I am very interested in. It's also like a pretty decently short book, like 350 some pages. Pick number 4. Oh, I have a bad feeling about this tower, and I just don't know why. Physical TBR, so a book that is on my physical TBR, so I own a physical copy of it. Physical TBR, I am going to be hopefully reading Rebel by Amy Tintera. This is the second book, the second and only other book in the series, because it's a duology, but I figured why not try to kill 2 birds with 1 stone this month, get this series finished. It's been on my shelf since like January of last year. It's one of the oldest books on my shelf that I haven't read, along with other books I hauled in this, but like, yeah, I'm really excited to pick this up. Again, I'm not for sci-fi, like sci-fi, not really dystopian kind of, and I think this is like a sci-fi dystopian. But like, I'm excited to pick this up, and yeah. Pick number 5. I am seriously nervous, like so nervous. A big book, so a book over 500 pages. Next we have Big Book, and for Big Book I'm using my 1 reread allowed for the month. I'm allowed to reread 1 book as a part of my Jenga TBR, and for that I am picking up Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare, and this is over 500 pages, so it counts as a big book. Chain of Gold is the first book in the Last Hours trilogy, which is one of the series in Cassandra Clare's greater Shadowhunter Chronicles, and in this we follow the children of the characters in the Infernal Devices, so definitely you have to read the Infernal Devices unless you want to get spoiled of who gets together, who has kids, all of that. In Chain of Gold, we are in 1903 Edwardian London, and a new Shadowhunters have, 2 new families of Shadowhunters have entered London. One of these being the Carstairs, and our main character from that family being Cordelia. And when these new around the same time these new families enter London, so does a kind of demonic plague that goes against Shadowhunters, where it hurts them and eventually kills them, and is trying to figure out how to stop this illness, as well as deal with many other things that are not difficult to explain, but kind of spoilery. And we follow there's multiple point of views, and I gave this book a 5-star when I first read it. This is a reread. I'm rereading this because Chain of Iron comes out on the 2nd. Yeah, Chain of Iron comes out the 2nd of March, so I want to reread this so I can reread that as soon as it gets in the mail. I don't know when it'll be in the mail though. But yeah, again, I absolutely loved this, and I'm so excited to be doing a reread. Yeah. Pick number, what? Pick number 6? Oh, that one's a bad idea. Okay, nope. Okay. Oh. Oh no. It's like stuck. Okay, A to Z title. So I will do a random like letter generator. Whatever letter comes out of that letter generator, I have to find a book that has a title that, like, one of the words in the title starts with that letter. Next we have A to Z title, and for this I got T. And at first I was like, T. I don't really want it to be something that it's like the blank or like something the, like, you get what I'm saying? Literally like 2 days, like the day or two after I filmed this, like these clips, and I was like, what am I going to do for T? Jade from JD Ray Reads announced that there is going to be a The Witchlands by Susan Dennard like read along, and I've been wanting to read this series for a little while. Shockingly, it wasn't on my like Goodreads TBR, but I've heard great things about this, and she announced that there is like over between March and July there is a like readathon for all of these books. And I'm like, I'm going to do that because the first book is Truthwitch, which fits perfectly for T. And I know like nothing about this except it's witches, so I'm going to read the like description. In a continent on the edge of war, 2 witches hold a fate in their hands. Young witches Sophia and Isolde, might be pronouncing that wrong, have a habit of finding trouble. After clashing with powerful guildmaster and his ruthless blood witch bodyguard, the friends are forced to flee their home. Safi must avoid capture at all costs as she is a rare truthwitch. Safi must avoid capture at all costs as she is a rare truthwitch, able to discern truth from lies. Many would kill for her magic, so Safi must keep it hidden, lest she be used in the struggle between empires, and Isolde's true powers are hidden even from herself. In a chance encounter at court, Safi meets Prince Merrick and makes him a reluctant ally. However, his help may not slow down the Blood Witch, now hot on the girl's heels. All Safi and Isolde wants is their freedom, but danger lies ahead. With war coming, treaties breaking, and a magical contagion sweeping the lands, the friends will have to fight emperors and mercenaries alike. For some will not stop at nothing to get their hands on a truth witch. That just sounds like great to me. So yeah, like witches in a fantasy setting, amazing. I've heard like great things about this, so picking this up for T. Pick number 7. I am super nervous, and I've said that multiple times, but okay, we're not touching that row, we're not touching that row, we're not touching that row, really, unless I have to. I like jumped out of frame there. Oh my gosh. An adult book, so a book that is in the genre adult or new adult. I'm including in adult because adult and new adult, a lot of books kind of like, there's not as many adult books that I want to read, but there's probably some new adult, but I will have to figure this one out. Next we have for adult, and in my clip I said I'm counting new adult or adult because I don't have many books on my TBR that are adult, and I have some that are new adult, so I was like adult, new adult, they're kind of very similar. And for this I am picking Chaos and Destiny by Miranda Lynn, and this is the second book in the Fae Rising trilogy, I think, and with the first book being Blood and Honor. The Fae Rising trilogy, again, I think it's a trilogy, is a like new adult high fantasy series. In Blood and Honor, we follow Aura, whose parents just died, like were just murdered, and with her mother's like last dying wishes, sends Aura out on a mission to kind of find the truth about stuff, and that sends her into the forest on a mission that leads to a lot more. And again, I can't say much more because spoilers. We also follow Tbr, who's a lesser fae, like half fae, lesser fae, can't remember exactly, but like the lesser fae aren't treated the same as like the regular fae, and lesser fae are essentially treated like garbage. But Tbr has a rare like healing ability that no other lesser fae has, and that a lot of fae in general don't have. This makes it so that Tbr can go and live in the castle with the king, kind of like as like the king's like personal healer for like the court and all of that. And Tbr ends up making this like truth serum that works on the sea fae, and this cannot get out. He will be killed for this. So he has to try to convince his mentor and the girl that he likes to run away with him. That's like the gist of it. I read Blood and Honor in December as an arc, and this comes out, and Chaos and Destiny comes out March 4th, but I will not be reading it until a couple weeks later because it goes along with a readathon that I'm taking part of, and that will be an entirely video itself, the readathon that I'm taking part in. But I'm excited to read Chaos and Destiny because where we ended off, I liked where we ended off, let's just say that. So I obviously can't really describe Chaos and Destiny because it's the second book in a series. And pick number 8, can we please not have this fall over? Can we please have this not fall over? Please, like somebody be good to me today, because I don't want to have to add any more book. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Start a new series. So a new series that I want to start. There's a bunch. So I guess I have to figure out a new series to start. Finally, for start a new series, I'm going to be reading Sanctuary by Caryn Lix. L-I-X? Lix. Sanctuary is the group book for the Avengers, like, reading challenge thing. I'll have the, like, announcement to it. It's like a Avengers-based readathon where you have to, like, fill out these bingo boards and all of that. And this is the group book for March. And I don't know what this is about, but I have made it a challenge for myself to read every single, like group book for the reading challenge, and this is a science fiction. That's what I said. There's a lot of sci-fi. So I'm going to read the description because I really know nothing. Kenzie holds one truth above all: the company is everything. As a citizen of Omnicellular Concept, the most powerful corporation in the solar system, Kenzie has trained her entire life for one goal: to become elite Gar on Sanctuary, Omnicellular space prison for superpowered teens too dangerous for Earth. As a junior guard, she's excited to prove herself to the company, and that means sacrificing anything that won't propel her forward. But then a routine drill goes sideways, and Kenzie is taken hostage by rioting prisoners. At first, she's confident her commanding officer, who also happens to be her mother, will stop at nothing to secure her freedom. Yet it soon becomes clear that her mother is more concerned with sticking to Omnistellar's protocol than she is with getting Kenzie out safely. As Kenzie forms her own plan to escape, she doesn't realize that there's a more sinister threat looming: something ancient and evil that has clawed its way into Sanctuary from the vacuum of space, and Kenzie might have to team up with her captors to survive. All while being a suspect that there's a darker side of, all while beginning to suspect that there's a darker side of the Omnistellar she knows. It sounds interesting. It's a trilogy. So, yeah. So, like, yeah, that's interesting to me. Now onto the TBR Knockout Prompts. I'll leave the video, its announcement. It's like a yearly thing that each month there are 2 prompts and you have to complete those 2 prompts. And for March, I'm only doing 1. The first prompt is read a book with luck in the title or be about something lucky. I'm not doing that. I don't have a book that fit on my TBR that fits that to my knowledge, and I don't want to add a book to my TBR that would fit that. And read a book, and the second one is read a book with the green on the cover or the spine, and for that I'm doing Chaos and Destiny by Miranda Lynn. Those are the books that I am reading this month, along with there's a few other books that I want to read or I need to read. I need to read Cinderella is Dead by Caitlin Bayron because I didn't read it in February. I also want to read Chain of Iron as soon as it comes in the mail. I want to read I want to reread King of Scars for like Rule of Wolves release. There's probably more books that I want to read as well that I just can't think of. And yeah, so that's my March TBR, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!